Since apparently I'm not even allowed to make like a really small video in the hospital because I can't even fucking speak without somebody telling me that I'm not raising awareness for what just happened to me properly, fuck you. I guess I'll go over it now while you can barely understand me. Long story fucking short, it's my birthday right now, so thank you. Happy birthday to me. I work third shift at a gas station, okay? I also work in a not so great part of town. I've had people come in and cause me problems before. I'm normally able to diffuse those situations, but guess what? When somebody decides that they want to hurt you and they've got to stick up their ass, that's exactly what they do. I have literal recording of this happening. This man came in. He came in 3 times that night. The first time, my assistant manager was there and he didn't say a word to me. The second time, he came back in when I was by myself at like 3 o'clock in the morning and he starts asking me all this personal information. I didn't want to tell him anything other than what I'm supposed to because I don't want anything like this to happen. So he steps up onto the back where you can't like leave the register and basically traps me behind there and starts asking me the same question over and over and over again because I'm not responding to him. I eventually tell him that he needs to leave or I'm just gonna call the police because I'm not gonna do that. I'm not one to call the police, especially when we have a lot of black people who come into the store. I know what that's like, but if you're like threatening my life and you're not letting me leave the back of the counter, yeah, I'm going to threaten to call the police. Anyway, he comes back at like 4:30 in the morning. He starts doing the same thing again. He comes up to exactly where he was the last time and he starts asking me over and over and over and over and over again how old I am because I keep telling him I'm grown. I'm an adult. You don't need to know that. You don't need to know when I get off work. You don't need to know where I live. None of that is important to you. And so finally he like starts walking towards me and I grab the phone and I go to call the police and I said, okay, if you're going to walk at me, I'm going to call the police. And he starts, getting like, oh, don't do that. And I'm like, you are not where you're supposed to be. I have told you several times you need to get down, you need to leave, and you're making me feel unsafe. And he still didn't. After I called the cops, he grabbed that phone from my hand, hit hung up, but luckily it had already called them, and he proceeded to beat me to the fucking ground and try to rape me in the back of the store. Is that enough fucking detail for you? Do you want the screaming?
You need to leave! You need to fucking leave!
I can't listen to another second of that, but here's your, But here we go. Just so you can be all up in my space. Is it my fault?